If not, it's okay. We can
like wholesome.
Oh, you want what?
Let's go wholesome.
You want a wholesome story?
Wholesome.
Okay. I definitely have a few good wholesome ones. Now the real question is would you like something from my real world experience, or would you prefer me to make up an epic tale?
Yeah, he's.
Let's go with real world again.
A real world
Seems
again.
like you have a very fascinating life.
What the fuck is that?
So, let's go ahead and go over, let's do a wholesome story then from my real world experiences. What is a good one that I can tell you? You know what? I think it would be a wonderful story, wonderfully wholesome, if I tell you all the story of how I met the woman who would become my wife. Now, little bit of background. Me and this girl, we have been together for about 6 years, and our claim to fame, excuse me, my voice cracked. Our claim to fame is that we have not had a single fight. We haven't even argued with each other in 6 years. It's been nothing but pure compatibility. It's been gorgeous, beautiful even. So, the story begins. I graduate high school, I get ready to go to college, and I don't know where the hell I'm gonna go. I have all these different options, thanks to being a fucking nerd with a 4.0. Can go just about anywhere I need to, if it's within my price range, of course. And just on offhand, I see a school that has the major I kind of want to do. I don't really know what I want to do yet, but I think, fuck it, I'll do that. So I apply to it, I get in, and I get ready to go. I don't think much of it, I just think I want to get the hell out of my hometown, and go as far away possible as I can, and just start over new, you know? Because I was a bullied kid. I wanted to start fresh. I wanted to get a new rep, new street cred and everything. So I go to this big city, and I get there. I unpack all my things. I get my room set up and everything. And they want us to go to orientation. Now, I'm not much of a talker. Believe it or not, before all this, I was a very quiet kid, almost a mute. And I go, hey there, Bolt, if you want to join us, please come forward. We're telling some stories. Now, I'm a quiet kid. I don't think too much of it. But, before orientation, the school that I decided to go to opened up a Facebook page, and they're like, hey, introduce yourselves. And everybody who's introducing themselves is very nervous, they're very, we'll say, socially awkward. Everybody is just kind of like, oh, hi, my name is so-and-so, and I like painting, or my name is so-and-so, and I'm majoring in accounting, and yeah. Now me, I think to myself, I want some cred. Go big or go home. You know, why play the game if you're not gonna have a good time with it? So on that Facebook page, I post me, standing there on my chair, with a foam sword, nerd apparel, Deadpool mask, and cat ears, and I tell them, get ready everybody, because weird is fucking coming. And then I give all this what I am and whatnot. The whole page booms. Everybody's messaging me. They're like, dude, I can finally introduce myself and not be weird because you were the fucking weirdo. And I was like, yeah, that's me. Fucking go, baby. So, I go. I introduce myself there. Everything's finally rocking. Then, as I said, fast forward to where I'm unpacking.
Okay, I have an anime mouse there.
Huh?
It's alright, I have an anime mouse head.
Nice. So, I get there. I'm unloading all my stuff. Getting my room set up, and they want us to go to orientation, so I go to orientation. And I sit down, and when I sit down, out of pure chance, I kid you guys not, pure 1 in a million chance, 1 in a billion, 1 in a trillion, I sit down next to the most beautiful woman I've ever laid eyes on. I love her, like, immediately, first time I see her, I love her. And I think to myself, oh yeah, that's out of my league. I'm a fucking nerd. I got nothing, like, I can't talk to people, let alone talk to arguably the most beautiful person I've ever seen. And I think nothing of it. Now, thing is when I went there, I wanted to keep the track record of being a little weird so everybody else could feel comfortable, you know? You can't feel weird if there's somebody knowingly being weirder than you, right? I just wanted to make people feel comfortable. So I go in, you know, weird fucking t-shirt, Naruto headband around my head, no shame given, and everybody loves it. Everybody loves it because they're like, now that you're doing this, I don't have to feel bad about embarrassing myself. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. You look at me, you're not gonna feel embarrassed. You trip and fall, they're not gonna worry. They're gonna be paying attention to this. So I sit down, and she is eyeing me up. And I immediately get cold feet, and I'm like, oh well, don't even bother. What's the point? We get through orientation. I go back to my room, And as I'm unlocking my door, I see out of the corner of my eye the same girl. And I look up, and she walks right past me. And I look to my left. She's living in the room right next door. And I'm like, what? This is, excuse me? Hello, cosmic whatever, thank you, you know, praise to Tesla, and all that. Then, the next day rolls around. I get up, it's the first day of classes. I don't have class until about, like, 1 in the afternoon, but I'm an early riser and a late night kind of guy. So, I go ahead, and I get up about 7, 8 a.m., and I go down to get some coffee, and when I go to the elevator, out of the corner of my eye, I see the same girl. She comes up to the elevator. We get in, we're going down, and I strike up a small conversation. Now, I'm nervous as can be, because, oh my god, she's a nerd as well, and she is so sweet. She is such an absolute sweetheart to talk to. And then we go our separate ways. I go get my coffee, she goes to class. We meet back up. Same time again. Go up the elevator, walk down the hallway, go into our rooms, and that's it. Now, it happens again a few more times, and I'm just in love. But I don't know how to make the first move, because I'm a shy kind of person. Then, at one point, she gets a job on campus, where she has to go across campus all the way and back. Now, on an offhand, I was just like, oh, Dad, do you need somebody to walk you or whatever? And she's like, oh my god, yeah, I would actually love that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't think this far ahead. So I join her, I walk her to work, and I walk her back when she's done. And it just gets more and more beautiful. She's a wonderful person, we have similar interests. We're not too similar to where it gets kind of dull, but we're similar enough to where, you know, a date would be considered playing video games together. You know, the good shit. Very cheap, no purchase kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. So, I'm having a good time, and then things start to get a little bit more hectic with with tests and studying and everything, because I'm trying to keep a 4.0, you know? I'm a nerd, I'm an academic, I want to be smart, you know? I want to be the smart guy. So, I forget to walk her for a couple days. Then a couple days turns to a couple weeks. And I think to myself, oh my god, I miss her so much. Like, okay, because I don't even know if she's single at this point. And I'm just like, alright, let me just go ahead and send her a text, you know? What's the worst that could happen? And I'm like, hey, how you been? Like, what's new? And so we're talking a bit. I'm like, oh, cool. Are you still working at the so-and-so? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, sorry I've been so busy. Do you want to, I'm choking up. I'm like, do you still need someone to walk you? And she's like, I would very much appreciate that. Yeah, like, because she gets off late, right? She gets off when it's dark out. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I join her again. I kid you not. It can be below freezing. It can be below 0 or over 100 degrees where I'm at. And every day, 20 minutes before she gets off work, I am sitting outside through cold or heat, and I'm shaking in my boots because I'm like, oh my god, I get to see her. This is so good. I'm having a great time. Then at one point, I finally work up the courage, and I'm like, hey, do you want to, I don't know, go out or whatever? I got like $10 to my name, and she's like, I know a good place that does like $5 pizza, and I'm like, oh cool, and she's like, yeah, I can pay delivery. And I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. So we get some cheap pizza. We go to her room when her roommates are gone. And we sit down. And I fell more in love at this point because our idea of a first date was watching anime and some good old Halo 3 machinima. Like, old shit. And I'm like, oh my god, my heart is about to burst? Is this what true happiness is like? So, we get through the date, and we never really officially called it a date, because I still didn't know if she was single, and then by the end of it, I was just like, alright, come on, you gotta ask her out, because for the past few days, anytime we've been texting, she's saying, oh, it's so great to have a friend like you, and I'm like, no, please don't let me stay in that area, please tell me there's something more that can come from this. So, offhand, at the end of the date, if you will, I turn around, I'm like, oh yeah, there was something I forgot to ask you. And she's like, oh, what is it? I'm like, freeze. I'm nervous. I'm sweating. My hands are shaking because I'm like, The worst she can say is, no, I'm taken, but the worst she can say is, no, I'm taken. So I'm like, I can't remember it off the top of my head. I turn around, I'm about to open the door and leave, and finally I'm like, you know what? Shoot your shot. You are literally classified as one of the weirdest dudes in this year, in a good way. Just shoot your shot and see what happens. So I turn around, I'm like, oh hey, would you like to go on a real date at some point? She freezes, deer in the headlights, and I think, oh my god, this is it. She's gonna say I'm taken. She's gonna say, oh, I just see you as a friend. That's it. It's been nice playing, you know, no player two. And she's like, oh, yeah? And I'm like, is that with a question mark? And she's like, no, yes. I just didn't expect it so soon. I'm like, what do you mean so soon? And she's like, I kind of have a crush on you. I'm like, huh? Hello? Someone? Please knock me the fuck out to make sure I'm not dreaming. So, we end up going on a few dates, and it's getting wonderful. Like, it's literally perfect, you know? I'm not spending out on a 5-star restaurant. We're eating pizza, watching anime, and just chilling. And she's in love. She fucking loves that. And I'm like, oh my god, my wallet's so happy. Then, after so many years together, 4 years in school together, not a single fight among us. Hey, Gallivan, not a single fight among us.
Okay.
Finally, I asked this girl, hey, I have on me, it's a cute little dragon ring that I found on Etsy. Cutest damn thing in the world, because she loves dragons more than anything. I'm like, hey, we've been together 4 years, you want to, oh god, you want to maybe think about the future? She's like, is this a proposal? I'm like, I think, but I'm really bad at it. And she's like, yes. I'm like, what do you mean yes? And she's like, yes, you idiot. Ever since then, we have been... We are now married, and it's been 6 years. And guys, I shit you not, the moment this woman said yes to dating, it's like a new star formed in front of me. The moment she said yes to getting married, it's like a fucking galaxy was just created before me. In all the prettiest colors you could imagine. And that's the wholesome story of how I met my wife.
Aww.
You're lonely, Katsune, you loser.
So, is that how you met my mother then?
Is that how? Yeah, that's how I met your mom, dude. Tell her I'll be home for dinner. Thank you, Supreme. Thank you.
Hold on, let me call her.
All right. Hi, Ross. Ross, you're here. Hi, Ross. Oh my god, it's so good to see you. I'm glad you're here for another video.
Two different worlds.
Awesome. Ross here was from our first video we did a couple of weeks ago. Her and Gallivan and a few others. OG. Yes, Extreme.
Well, so do I.
Irish.
Oh, you want an Irish story? So a Celtic story. Okay. Our story begins many, many, many years ago, centuries
I'm in a
even,
swivel chair.
when the world was old, when the world was not so old, very young in fact, wild and untamed, when mankind had yet to even place a foothold into the ground. There lived a great wolf called Orvig. Now, Orvig was a great and powerful beast, strong and big, but he had scared off his pack so many times that he lived alone. He was a lone hunter, and this was a terrible fate indeed. For a creature bound in familial ways cannot last long on its own. But Orvig, so great and strong was he, that he lasted many years. He was as big as a tree, as strong as a mountain, and as powerful as the rushing river untamed. But what Orvig did not have, what he wanted more than anything, was someone that could paint the world beautiful for him. For as great as he was, he could not see the tiny little details beneath his paws. And so he went day by day. Hi, Supreme. So he went day by... Oh, Supreme had to leave. That was the wave. Whoops. Anyways, so Orvig would go day by day. He would hunt the greatest stag for breakfast. He would hunt the mightiest deer for lunch. And for dinner, entire flocks of birds in order to satiate such rabid hunger. Until one day, Orvig went out hunting, heard the most beautiful song you could imagine. A song so clear and crystal, it was as if the great gods themselves had crafted it just for him. And so he sat and listened to this song, and he wished to know its origin. So Orvig marched through the woods. He went all across for miles, many, many miles, and trying to find the source of this song, until finally he found it atop a great tree that stood even taller than him. At the very top of one of the branches was a beautiful golden canary. So pure were its feathers that had we seen it as humans, we might have believed that this a mechanical construct made of gold. It was so beautiful, and its song so crystal clear that not even angels could come close to matching it. It was beautiful. Orvig sat under the tree. He listened to that song, and when the canary finally stopped to go and find its meal, Orvig growled. He growled and howled so greatly that the entire forest itself shook like an earthquake. The birds from above flew far to get away, for they knew what that sound meant. The great stags and many other creatures all around fled, for none wished to hear Orvig's howl, terrifying as it was, as if a great beast of hell was upon them. But not the canary, for the canary was an outsider. He had not been to this forest, so he did not know its dangers. He returned, wanting to see what that was. What great a beast could make such a sound? And that's when the canary looked down from its great perch, this tiny little thing, and it looked and it saw that great wolf. And it asked, "Why does it howl?" Orvig demanded, "I wish to hear that song again. So beautiful is it that I must hear it once more." And the canary thought, a fan, someone to enjoy my call. My friend, I will happily sing for you again. And so the canary sung again, beautiful once more, as if the very light coming from the sun had changed into sounds, as if the rivers no longer rushed and roared, but slowly went through like a calm creek, as if the wind had sweet nothings to whisper. Then the canary stopped. It finished its song. And Orvig growled again. "You are not done! I wish to hear it one more time." The canary, being very humble and small, agreed, and it decided to sing a new song. Now this new song was even better than the last. Beautiful, perfect, pristine, as if diamonds and rubies had been turned into sound, as if the greatest orchestra of all time had come in the form of this canary. And when it was done, Orvig growled again, and the canary apologized, saying, "My friend, I hunger. I must find food." Orvig, he saw the need in this, and so he went to find food himself as well. They came together again under that great tree, and the canary, full and filled its thirst, began to sing once again. For hours on end, Orvig listened to this great song, and he was in bliss. So calm was that heart of rage, that will of the beast, that he was almost what one could be considered civilized. But then, the canary stopped singing, and Orvig growled once again, "I demand the song! Keep singing! You are not done until I say you are done!" The canary apologized, saying its voice was tired from the day. It needed to rest. And so, Orvig, machinations in mind, agreed. Orvig left deeper into the woods, and the canary fell asleep. Now, Orvig was a very angry individual, a wolf of great temper. The wolf continued deeper into the woods until he found a little shack. Now, so great was Orvig that this little shack was nothing more than a tree to him. And as he approached, a woman stepped outside. Now, Orvig had no taste for human flesh, but if it was here, he might as well kill to satiate his anger. So he approached. The woman looked up at him, hair covered in twigs, body wrinkly and old, and Orvig demanded that she give him all she has, or he will eat her. Now the woman laughed. What did she have to fear from a wolf? With fire in hand, and when the world was still young and magic still great, and those that sought to take it, she had no fear from a wolf. She laughed in his face. Orvig approached, ready to strike, and the woman stopped him dead in his tracks with a spell. Orvig tried for many hours, but the woman kept stopping him no matter what. Finally she said, "Your anger is too great. We need to temper that. What is it that makes you so angry, Great Wolf?" And so Orvig told his story. Told his story of the selfish canary that would no longer sing for him because it was tired. Now, Orvig had been a problem in these woods for many, many years. And so the witch, a terrible plan, she thought, promising him that canary if he would promise her safety, leave her alone and never bother her again. And so Orvig agreed. Why shouldn't he? Someone giving him what he wants, it was to be expected. So, she clapped her hands together, she spoke a spell, and said, "Return to your home, Orvig, and you will find that which you seek." Orvig, confused by her words, took the day to return home to his cave. A great hole in the mountain, as if made by the dwarfs. It was massive in size. And Orvig went in, and in the back of his cave, hanging from the roof, he saw a little silver cage. And inside, glowing like a torch of fire, was the canary, asleep. And when it awoke, it was terrified. It wondered how it had got here. Orvig told it to sing, or else it would eat it. The canary, realizing that it was in danger, began to sing. It sang and sang and sang for hours, until its voice began to croak. But even then, Orvig lay down, he listened, and he began to drift into sleep. The canary sung more, for days on end, as Orvig's body, while sleeping peacefully to this song, began to wither, began to break. The canary continued to sing and sing and sing until finally its voice gave out. After 3 weeks, its voice came out. It laid against the cage, and it looked, and it saw Orvig was nothing but bone. The canary, so great in its fear for what it could not look down to see, had sung its heart out, and Orvig had starved to death, sleeping while listening to this song. The canary tried its best to bend the bars, to squeeze through, to call for help, but its voice had given out, and the bars were too strong. And as it was about to perish, the cage fell, and then was caught in the hands of the witch. The witch who looked at it, brought it outside for fresh air and the beautiful sun, gave it small seeds and a little thing of water. The canary recovered and continued to sing, but Orvig, its bones were found by men many years later, where the story of great wolves taller than anything you could imagine would come from. And that is the story of Orvig and the canary. Thank you for listening.
That was very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Bravo! Nice.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it, Jungle, since it was your request. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
That was actually one of my questions, is what your YouTube channel was. The other one is, are you recording right now?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Okay, and my third one, can I advertise my channel?
Yes, absolutely. Go for it.
Hello, YouTube! Thanks for being this far into this guy's video. Would you like to come check out mine? It's Supreme Crazy. No spaces.
Yes, everybody, theater goers, don't forget to check out Supreme
Weird
Crazy.
stuff. One thing about my channel is swearing happens a lot, so if you don't want swearing, don't come to my channel.
You know, if they're on my channel, they've heard very colorful words.
Okay.
Hey there, and thanks for watching. I really'd appreciate it if you could like the video and maybe even subscribe if you enjoyed yourself. This whole thing is kind of part of a new project I want to do with the channel where I go throughout VR chat, telling stories and maybe even collecting a few. The world is a bit of a hectic place right now, so I'm hoping maybe by sharing stories and everything, we can all laugh and maybe get a sense of wonder through everything. Stories have kept people entertained for generations, and I just want to share a couple of them and maybe even create a few new ones. If you've enjoyed the video, I'm really glad, and if you have any feedback, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm always looking to improve because I know I'm not perfect at this. For those of you that want to join and see these stories live, I am going to be getting on VR chat every Friday from 2 p.m. CST to 5 p.m. CST. In order to tell stories, collect them, might go a little longer, maybe a little less, it depends entirely what happens. But in the future, I might also try to stream this. We'll see what happens because I really want to try to work with a larger audience and really just kind of make everybody laugh and have a good time. So, thanks again for watching this vid. I hope you had a wonderful time. Bye-bye.